of public land can be used by any driller to basically design a district where use of the compulsory integration statute will basically force unwilling landowners into a drilling combination. And literally, and what's particularly wrong about that process, and why I hope Senator Avella, the Senate will put in a bill to prevent this, is under the compulsory integration process, the state is both prosecutor and judge. If the state becomes, by leasing its own land, beneficiary, prosecutor, and judge, well, I think everyone who's been involved in the legal process, the State Administrative Procedures Act, knows that this would be not only legally unethical, but I think illegal. And I think we should not ever lease our public land so that the net effect of doing so would be to force all these landowners around our state lands to have taken such good care of that land. And now we're going to expose them to all the ills that Elizabeth Rado talked about and many of the witnesses talked about today. That's not a fair way of treating our private landowners. Now, let me talk a minute about the laws we would love to see. There's no question that everybody in the Senate should endorse your moratorium bill. It's clear that this state is not ready. DEC does not have the answers. I agree completely with Kate Sindling. We don't know how to dispose of the billions of gallons of badly contaminated water. We heard from the chemists, carcinogenic chemicals, and I won't go over them, but simply stated, there is not a single wastewater treatment plant in New York State, public or private, that can handle those billions of gallons of wastewater. Until we have the answer to that, we shouldn't do a single well. And what's the hurry? Right now, natural gas is at the lowest possible rate. There's no reason that we have to bring this gas to market, and there's no reason we can't wait for the completion of public health studies and the completion of the two major water and air studies by the Environmental Protection Agency. Finally, I want to briefly address the issue of propane fracking. It is simply that some of the people who've talked about propane fracking have stated that it is outside the moratorium. It most certainly is not. Hydraulic does not mean water-based only. The Governor's Executive Order 41 on creating the moratorium talked about new technology. This technology is less than 2 years old, and hydraulic fracturing, the moratorium applies to anything over 300,000 gallons being used in the frac, and clearly propane fracking clearly does. So propane fracking has a number of other impacts that we have not looked at all. Use of pressurizing to that degree of that much liquid propane gas causes a greater danger of explosion and fires. And there's a lot of evidence that because of the cost of propane over water, the industry would have to use a lot more densely spaced wells in order to get the money out. And we don't want more landscape chewed up just because we're using propane fracking. Thank you very much.